Did you know that following the broadcast of The Evil of the Daleks in 1967, the Daleks had a 5-year hiatus from Doctor Who, save for a couple of cameo appearances? The original intention was for Evil of the Daleks to be the final end of the Daleks, and the production team were attempting to write the Daleks out of the show completely. The reason for this was that Terry Nation, the creator of the Daleks, wanted to take the Daleks out of Doctor Who to make their own spin-off show, but the BBC didn't approve it. As such, Nation went to America in the hope that he could find better success for the Daleks there, and as such, the Daleks were to be phased out of Doctor Who. Despite this, the general public's enthusiasm for Daleks remained high, and the props themselves did many public tours and TV appearances in the meantime. The BBC props department had a clear out during this 5-year span, and junked many of the substandard or inaccurate Dalek props from the 60s, leaving only the 3 highest quality props to use for events. This is why Day of the Daleks in 1972 had just 3 props to work with. The Daleks were added to that story very late in production. Following Nation's failed attempts at a Dalek spin-off, he gave permission for the Daleks to return to Doctor Who, leading to the hasty addition of Daleks to a pre-existing script about human guerrilla fighters from the future trying to free humanity from the Ogrons. According to Dalek 6388, an early idea for a story called Daleks in London for the following season was considered, but the production team wanted the Daleks back as soon as possible. Thus, Day of the Daleks was born. While the shortage of props and the fact that the Daleks were evidently tacked onto this episode at the last minute are undoubtable drawbacks of this story, all things considered, the end result is surprisingly good, though the special edition helps iron out many of this episode's issues, like the underwhelming Dalek assault and the dull, monotone Dalek voices. The strange Dalek voices were a conscious choice by director Paul Bernard, who apparently disliked the 60s Dalek voices. The voice modulation for Day of the Daleks was done in studio rather than relying on the radiophonic workshop, which explains the significant dip in quality of the voices compared to basically every other Dalek story out there. What's your opinion on all this? Do you think that Terry Nation should have stuck with Doctor Who instead of trying to take the Daleks elsewhere? Do you think that the production team should have allowed for more time to build props and write a dedicated Dalek story instead of writing them into another story? What's your overall opinion on Day of the Daleks? Do you like this episode, or do you prefer the special edition? And how does it compare to other Dalek stories of the late 60s and early 70s? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.